begin assembling your Lifetime trailer, all parts and fixtures are included in the kit. We recommend assembling your Lifetime trailer with 3 people. This helps the process to run smoother and takes less time. With 3 individuals, you should expect to finish in 2 to 3 hours. To begin, place each side lateral support on the ground, roughly 5 feet apart. It's important to note that the smaller rounded bracket is toward the rear of the trailer and the larger is toward the front. Take the 2 center supports and lay them perpendicular to the lateral supports, securing them in each cradle. Using the correct bolts, washers, and nuts, as indicated by the instructions included in your kit, place a flat washer on the bolt. Slide it through the hole of the frame from the rear of the trailer toward the front, then add a flat washer and nut. If you ever have a difficult time getting a bolt or piece to fit through, use a rubber mallet to help you. There are 2 holes at the end of each center support. Hand tighten the nuts. Later on in the process, you'll be asked to tighten them securely. Keeping them slightly loose will help you assemble the rest of the kit. As you face the front end of the trailer, it's very important that the brown, yellow, and white wires thread through the driver's side lateral support, and the brown, green, and white wires through the passenger side. Using a long pole or dowel, insert the ends of the wiring harness through the first lateral support. The easiest way to do this is to tape the end of the wiring to the end of the pole and push it through, untaping it when you thread it completely. The first foam block should be inserted into the front end of the lateral support in order to press the wiring harness against the interior wall and away from the holes. When placing the foam blocks within the rear ends, it's important that you press the wiring up against the exterior walls of the support. Push the foam block until it rests between the 2 holes. Position the protective sleeve of the wiring at the corner of the tube. The blue connector for the marker light should extend approximately 1.5 inches from the opening. Repeat with the ends of each support. Now you can place the gates on the frame. Slide the end gate on the rear of the trailer. Before sliding the gate completely in, thread the wire ends through the eyes of the end gate and avoid smashing the wires as you finish sliding the gate in. Place the tail light brackets on their appropriate sides and hand screw the correct 4 hex bolts with washers, securing loosely with washers and nuts. Using the same procedure without the tail light brackets, thread the wires and slide the second gate over the front ends of the lateral supports. There should be 2 on each side of the gate. To assemble the suspension, elevate the rear end of the trailer. Check to make sure that the rebound clip goes toward the rear of the trailer. Secure the suspension with the appropriate hex bolt and nut on the front side of the suspension. As a note, the spline of the bolt will not slide through until the bolt is tightened. When tightening, make sure the head of the bolt lays flat against the bracket. On the rear side, you'll need to place the dual hex bolts in the linkage bracket through the eye as well as the suspension. Secure on the inside of the trailer with the second linkage bracket and nuts. Do not over-tighten the bolt. The suspension should not be pinched and should be free to move. Be sure to repeat on the other side of the trailer for the second suspension. You're now ready to put the axle in place. With the help of a third person to stabilize the rear of the trailer, thread 2 U-bolts around the axle and through the metal plate which you'll need to set in the center of the suspension. The pin of the axle and the hole of the leaf spring need to interlock before tightening. The bolt should be tightened between 30 to 40 feet per pound. As a caution, do not exceed 40 feet per pound. Tighten the nuts evenly in a star pattern. If you don't have access to a torque wrench, tighten the bolts securely and take the trailer to a local automotive shop to verify proper torque. Refer to the instruction manual for more information on tightening patterns. Repeat with opposite suspension. To place the wheel fenders on the trailer, be sure to use the bottom holes in the fender for tires with a 13-inch rim, and the top holes for tires with a 12-inch rim. Thread the correct bolt through the split lock washer, and then through the standard flat washer. Repeat for all 6 bolts. Thread 3 bolts per fender into the appropriate holes and tighten with a 1/2-inch ratchet. Assemble the wheels by using a torque wrench with the appropriate lug nuts. Be sure to tighten the lug nuts in a standard star pattern. It is important that the tapered side of the lug nut is toward the rim for proper wheel alignment and balancing. The trailer tongue is now ready to be placed. Set on the ground, at the front of the trailer, the two sides of the tongue, and slip the ball coupler over the end. This may require the rubber mallet to get it to fit properly. Slide the hex bolts in place and tighten by hand. Remove the nuts and washers from the front center support and hold aside for later. To widen the arms of the tongue and get the holes to align properly with the cross brace, place the tongue arm separator between the arms and press down. Slide the zip tie over to lock the separator in place. Slide the tongue underneath the trailer and secure it to the front center brace using the washers and nuts you removed earlier. For added support, place the jack on the tongue by sliding it in and inserting the locking pin through the hole to lock the jack. Remove the separator now that the tongue is in place. Slide the bolts downward and tighten through the front gate brackets and the tongue. Ensure that the wiring harness rests on top of the tongue and won't get pinched between the tongue and the trailer frame. You're now halfway finished with the assembly. To place the rear stabilizer jack on the trailer, simply secure it with the appropriate bolts, washers, and nuts at the rear end. Tighten all hardware throughout the trailer before proceeding. Next, wrap the wiring harness clamp around the wiring harness and screw the clamp to the trailer frame using 14 self-tapping screws. Make sure that the wiring harness rests on the top of the tongue and is not being pinched anywhere. Repeat the same step for the other locations. When you finish, secure the white ground wire to the front gate frame. We want to caution that improper grounding will occur if the wire is attached to the tongue. Now you can insert the male end of the indicator light base through the hole on the front gate support and connect it to the female end. Repeat the same step on the other side of the trailer. Attach the indicator light bases to the sides of the frame with the appropriate screws. Be sure, before you attach the light, to tuck any excess wire back into the side support of the frame. Now you're ready to attach the indicator light to the base. It will snap right into place. Make sure to repeat on both sides of the trailer. It's important to note the placement of the rear taillights. Only the driver's side taillight has an added light that shines down on the license plate of the trailer. It's important that this light is facing down on the driver's side. On the driver's side, connect the yellow and brown wires as indicated on the light. On the passenger side, connect the green and brown wires as indicated on the light. Gently tug on the wires to make sure they are secure. Pull the white wire through the slit in the tail light bracket and slide it over the bolt on the tail light. Place the lights on the tail light brackets with the correct nuts and bolts and tighten. Next, you will need to attach the license plate bracket to the driver's side tail light. For this, you'll need 2 corresponding nuts. For the next steps, you'll be putting the floor of the trailer into place. As a helpful hint, you may want to mark the location of the crossbars with tape in order to know where they are. Gather the 11 included wood planks and drill bit provided for your electric drill. Place the wood planks evenly across the trailer frame. Next, drill through the wood planks and through the metal crossbars beneath. Make sure not to drill more than 1 1/8 inch from the end gate frame. Drill 2 holes through both ends of each plank. As the holes are being drilled, a second person follows, screwing the boards in place. When finished, you will need to drill 1 hole in each board over both center crossbars. To make drilling the center crossbars easier, extend a tape measure across the width of the trailer floor just above the tape marks and use this as a guide as you drill in an alternating pattern. For the first crossbar, drill each hole on the right side of the board and on the second crossbar on the left side of each board. This helps reduce warping of the boards. For more information on this pattern, refer to the owner's manual. Now that your floor is completely set, slide the side wing of the trailer into its slot and secure through the appropriate holes with shoulder bolts and nuts. When threading the bolt, make sure the shoulder fits into the bracket pocket. One adult should hold the wing steady while another inserts the bolt and then tightens securely. Slide the support tube into the smaller wing support bracket and then slip the wing support bracket into the mounting and locking brackets with the support bracket between the tube and the trailer frame. Be sure to repeat for both ends of the wing and secure with bolts. Do not over-tighten. The support tube should be free to move side to side and rotate easily. We suggest leaving 1 or 2 threads exposed on the nut. Then assemble the opposite wings similarly. Secure the wings in place by inserting the clamp pins to keep the wings from coming down. To unfold the wings, remove the pins and place them at the bottom of the wing and the top of the support brace. Finally, attach the tongue chain by securing the quick links in the center of the chain with 1 link separating them. Fasten underneath the tongue and tighten with the wrench. To adjust the tailgate chains and lay the gate level, move the chain forward or back through the 2 eyes. Your Lifetime trailer is now fully assembled. If you have the added spare tire kit, we'll walk through that with you. Using a 1/2 inch or 5/8 inch drill or spade bit, drill a hole through the center of the 5th board, about 15 3/4 inch up from the end of the board near the back of the trailer. Now, if the rear stabilizer jack is on the right side, count from the left. If the jack is on the left side, count from the right. Be sure to place the 1/2 inch by 6 inch carriage bolt through the square hole washer with the teeth facing away from the head of the bolt and insert it through the hole and out the bottom of the floor. To make sure it's completely through, tap in place with a rubber mallet. Secure the carriage bolt to the bed of the trailer using the 1/2 inch flat washer, lock washer, and hex nut. The teeth of the washer should be completely set into the wood. Using your knees as braces, slide the wheel over the carriage bolt and secure the wheel to the underside of the trailer bed with the nut plate. To prevent loosening of the nut plate, back it up with the wing nut. It's important that this is very tight. The removable ramps can be stored at each end of the trailer and secured with a locking pin. And that completes the trailer. We hope you enjoy using your brand new Lifetime trailer.